Hi everybody. I promised I'd never be on camera, and here I am. With my ancient old bruised arms. We're seeing a lot in the news about people's hands who bruise when they're elderly, and I am one of those. It's nothing to worry about, but just so you know, I have little Cavalier dogs, and I swear somebody snags me just about every day. The question I get the most is about color, and I am not a master quilt maker or colorist, that's for sure. But I thought I might show how I do this. I know I've seen lots of videos about quilt makers who draw their entire quilt out and add the color and, use computer programs. I have the programs. I'm just the worst at it. But what works for me is to make a lot of little blocks and then I just play with them. And I found out that other people were doing the same thing. I used to sell a lot of blocks, and I'm about to list blocks for sale again. So if you think you can't make these tiny little blocks, I can make them for you, and you'll be able to find them online soon. I'll let you know when they go up. But what I do and what I did is that I've made hundreds of little quilt blocks, and often I'll make the quilt, I'll lay them out and look at it the way I thought I wanted it, and it's just not what I wanted. So I started taking different blocks from different things that I thought I was going to make, and then I started mixing the blocks together. And I can't explain what it is about it, but this seems to be what draws people to my little blocks. So this is a secondary design, and just lay it out here and see what it looks like. And if we absolutely hate it, we just do another one. And I grabbed a bunch of blocks, and I realized looking at them just a minute ago that I picked a lot of red and green and not a lot of anything else. So I apologize for that, but you'll see. Okay, one more up here. And then let's see if we have another one that would work in the corners. Like, let's see. And I try not to overthink it. I try just to pick blocks out and put them up here and see what they look like to me. I use a lot of bright colors. People tell me all the time they can't do this, they can't see well enough, or they're just afraid of how small they are. These are little 1.5-inch blocks, and they're so easy to do. But that's a possibility. This little block here makes a secondary design, and there's kind of a star in the middle, and these on the ends finish it off. And this is a pretty acceptable little quilt to me. But let's try with some other blocks and see how it goes. I thought these were all red and green all the way through, but they're not. There are lots of colors, so we'll see what happens. I make a lot of little Christmas quilts. Really loving all the Christmas colors, and I love Halloween quilts for obvious reasons, all that crazy material. Okay, there's the center. Let's try that. Let's see, I may not have enough of these. These will have to be the outside corners because I only have 4 of these. 2, 3, 4. I use a lot of black in my quilts too. I really love the way it makes the colors stand out. But my mother-in-law hated black in quilts, and she tried to tell me that, you never put black in a quilt, that it means somebody has passed away, and black is for mourning, and that's it. But she didn't grow up next to Pennsylvania Dutch country like I did. And the Amish people use black in their quilts all the time, and they're just incredible looking. So I learned that at an early age. I don't know. Now, to me, the white doesn't work. I'm already thinking, I don't like that very much. Let's see what else we have. And it's just a matter of playing with them until you find a combination that you really like. I love this block. It has a lot of little pieces in it, so it takes a little while to make. But I like this block right here. Okay, 3, 4. Anyway, you get the idea. And I have a lot of these little blocks, and I just, whenever I am in the mood to put one together, I break out all the blocks and try to find something that really appeals to me. A donkey? That's one of the donkeys outside talking to us. They can see that I'm here in my studio and it's close to their dinner time, so they're out there complaining. Okay, I hate the ones in the middle. I'm not going to do that. That black is just too stark, and we need some black and other blocks around it to make it work. Let's see if this works. I've got all these little low volume. I was trying to describe to Jay what low volume is, and I'm not even sure I know, but it's, you know, like white and off-white, and it has little designs in it, but they're muted. There's nothing bold about them. They're just kind of in the background when you use them. So anyway, that's how I do it. I have a million of these little blocks, and I have fun putting them all together. And sometimes I'll just sit down with blocks and I'll put these little sets together. And if this is in order, which it should be, you'll see what I mean. Oops. That black wants to go toward the center. I may end up turning it toward the center. Oops, that's not right. Now you can turn these around however you want. They don't have to go the way I'm putting them in here, but this kind of works for me. You can see I've got a mistake in this already. Put the blocks in the wrong way. Like that. I love this little block here. It's from the Jester quilt that's up on Etsy. You can see it finished there. But anyway, here's a little block, and these are not right. Let's turn these toward each other and put them back where they go. Well, there we go. And I have little sets put together like this, and when I have the time, I'll pull these out and sew them all together. I'll do another tutorial about how I sew them together. I have found a really easy way to make this work. One of the hardest things about miniatures is sewing them together. You get a lot of little seams that come together in places, and it can be kind of lumpy, bumpy, and I have figured out a way to sew them together that works perfectly and easily. So watch for another one. I'll show you how to do that. Here's a little low volume neutral colors behind it, and it's just all one block. We've been putting individual blocks up for sale, and I'm just putting up the ones that work as a whole quilt. If you just make a whole quilt out of that one block, it looks great. And here's some others. I had a Christmas state of mind when I pulled all these, I think. I love this little red and green quilt. It's a Christmas quilt. So that's it for today. And I'll come back with more of these with more colors. I was heavy on red and green today, but I'll do better next time. Thanks.